the death of her brother in 1915, Catherine Mansfield and I moved to Bandol in France, near Marseille. It was, without doubt, the happiest time of our life together, one to which we looked back with love and a certain incredulity in the after years when Catherine's illness separated us. We could have written, like R.L. Stevenson, happy I was happy once, that was in Bandol. It was by no great effort of will that we ignored the war. We did it spontaneously and without a tremor of conscience. Whether we deserved our happiness, it is not for mortals to decide.
So hungry. Ooh. I keep imagining beefsteak and fried potatoes.
Please.
Jason, I meant to write. Slowly she walked up the back steps and through the scullery into the kitchen. Nothing was left in it but a lump of gritty yellow soap. Instead, I found myself writing, nothing was left in it but a sirloin of beef, well browned, with plenty of gravy and baked potatoes.
I'm not hungry. I could carry on till 1.
I don't believe you. You couldn't.
It must be my superior powers of concentration. Like Dostoevsky, my soul gives my body nourishment.
How horrible. Is that what you're saying? Midi, sun.
It's time.
Lunch at last.
I'm not saying I'm not hungry now. I'm ravenous. I'm simply saying that I wasn't hungry before. I had no hunger pangs at all.
You're so much more serious than I am, Bogey.
I know that.
So much less a prey to human frailty. A rumbling tummy could never distract you.
Exactly.
You bend your fine mind.
Yes.
Nothing but Dostoevsky, boy, in your finely minded head-down head.
D'accord. Je suis plus sérieux que toi.
More pâté?
Please. Oh. My human throat has come hurtling back now, though. But you must admit, I did hold on better than you.
Oh, yes, you were concentrating so hard you didn't notice when I put the clock on the whole hour.
Whole hour?
These are 11s, is really...
Wait! Oh, wait!
Jack, I don't think I can ever go back to England.
We'll have to. At least I will, once I finish the book.
I shall read it and make hundreds of beastly criticisms, so many you can't ignore them. And then it'll take you years to correct them and we won't have to go back.
All right. The highest virtue is to be happy.
Is it?
Lawrence has asked us again to Cornwall.
We won't go, will we? Cornwall will kill me after here. Tell me we won't.
I think you're jealous of Lawrence.
I am. He does so influence you, darling, more than I do.
Nonsense.
He does. Anyway, he's miles away in stodgy old England. Here's the nearest I can get to home, to New Zealand.
Oh.
And it does do my rheumatiz good. I've hardly complained once this last week, have I?
Perhaps you're not going to die of heart failure after all.
You mustn't joke about it. I could easily if we have to go back to England.
They extend the classification for national service. I'll have to go back.
Or stay here till you're fished out.
That'd be shameful. I don't suppose I'll ever be more than non-competent.
Thank God.
I suppose we ought to feel guilty. The way we ignore the war is completely...
It didn't ignore my brother. It's strange.
What is?
When I'm not writing, you won't be cross. I feel Chummy calling me.
Do you?
And he's not happy, but when I write or I'm in a state of writing, then it seems to me he's calm, quiet. Last night, when I didn't come up to bed straight away...
I thought you were writing a poem.
No, it was just doodling. I heard him call as though from our room.
Probably me snoring.
No, it wasn't. So I obeyed his call, not your snores. And I came upstairs. I sat by the window in the dark. The moon got very bright, so did the stars. They seemed to move as I watched. I could see the curve of the sea and the curve of the land, embracing. And above in the sky, a sweep, a round sweep of cloud. Perhaps those half circles were magic.
Very, I should think.
Good, so do I. But then I leaned out of the window and...
I'm not at all cross.
I seemed to see Chummy dotted all over the field. On his back, on his face, huddled up, half pressed into the earth. Wherever I looked, there he lay, dead. It seemed to me that God had shown him to me like that for some express purpose. I knelt by the bed.
Perhaps you should have woken me.
I couldn't have. I tried to pray, but I couldn't. I wasn't in an active state of grace. I'd done no work. You see? To pacify his spirit.
But you've worked today.
That's why I could tell you. Bogey, hold me.
Oh.
Do you know, when I go to sleep thinking of him, when I wake, I feel I'm he. My face has become his. The lines in my mouth have changed. I've even blinked myself awake exactly as he used to.
It's like Palinurus.
Is it? What did he do?
He steered Aeneas' boat from Troy. He fell into the sea in his sleep and was washed ashore, still alive. The inhabitants of the place, it was called Veli, murdered him for his clothes and left him unburied. The ship sailed on for a while, oblivious, until his restless spirit, unannealed, so haunted his former shipmates that Aeneas was forced to return to build a tomb for him upon that coast. A shelfy coast, long infamous for ships and sailors lost, and white with bones.
But when the monument was built, he rested.
Of course.
What if I can't get the monument quite right yet?
You will. You will.
This one of the home products?
Yes, dear.
The butcher doesn't come every day. Just 3 times a week.
Who'd expect otherwise? Now we've stuck ourselves out here, miles away from town.
But the air, Beryl. Think of the fresh air. Do the children like the new house?
I don't know. Keziah got tossed by a mad bull.
No.
Linda's teasing.
Oh, I do wish you wouldn't, dear. This is a superb bird. You know, Father would say this was one of those ducks whose mother must have played to it in infancy upon the German flute. And the sweet strains of the dulcet instrument acted with such effect upon the infant mind.
Put head back. Put head back.
Have to have somewhere flat. And I'm at our place. I can walk right round the monkey tree. Can't I, Rags?
Nearly. Stand on your head on the veranda. That's quite flat.
No, Smarty. It's got to be somewhere soft. Otherwise, if you give a jerk and fall over, something in your neck goes click and it breaks. See? Dad told us it breaks right off.
Will you come with me then? And I'll show you how the kings of Ireland cut off the head of a duck. Come on, then.
A real duck's head, one of ours from the paddock.
It is.
Let's keep hold of Snooker's head if there's going to be any blood about. The sight of blood sometimes makes him awfully wild.
He's a fighting dog. You see, that's what he smells.
Is that the truth? There's the little Irish Navy. Look at the old Admiral there with a fine green neck and a grand little flagstaff at his tail, eh? Come on. Lid, 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 lid. Lid, 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 lid. Come on now. Come on. Lid, 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 lid. Come on. Come on now. Lid, 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 lid. Come on now. Come on. Come on now. Come on. Lid, 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 lid. Come on. Come on. Come on now. Right. They can't bite. They haven't got any teeth. Only these little holes in their beaks to breathe through.
Some more, Beryl.
I couldn't, Stanley. Really, I couldn't.
You couldn't. But, Beryl, I've always said, and I'll say it again. In fact, I'm willing to state it in a court of law, that you and I are the only people in this house with a real feeling for food.
You'll be cold, child.
I won't.
Oh, look at the adder.
It's as if it's floating on the sea towards us. Don't you feel it's floating, Mother?
I believe it's going to flower this very year. Wouldn't that be wonderfully lucky? At the top there. All those bugs. Or is it only an effect of the light?
It's just like a mast. And they're rowing us away. Faster, faster. And not even waving goodbye. I believe they are buds.
So do I.
Grandma!
Oh, you are a cold child. You'd better go back in.
Granny!
My sakes, what's that?
Granny!
Oh, good gracious, child.
Tell them to put it back. Tell. He must put it back.
Who must, darling?
Pat must.
Put back what, Keziah?
The head. The duck's head. He chopped it off and it ran round and round.
Oh.
But we've eaten the duck, darling. It's all gone.
Oh, you mustn't mind so much. Look. Look at the tree. Oh, you are a lump.
What is it?
That is an aloe, Keziah.
It's got cruel leaves. Does it have roots or claws?
The idea. Roots, of course.
Does it ever have any flowers?
Yes, my child. Once every 100 years.
It's the most tedious war work imaginable. I have to read all the German newspapers every single day for the War Office.
No chance for you to blossom at all.
Oh, none whatsoever. I creep home exhausted, utterly drained, quite dead. Oh.
But it's safer than the front.
Oh, yes, Carrington. I had an attack of pleurisy 2 years ago to thank for that.
He painted every chair black. Perfectly good Victorian chairs.
And you interpreted this as an expression of Murray's mood in Cornwall.
Well, he funked it. Of course, Mansfield encouraged him. She never wanted to come to Cornwall in the first place, since she and Murray had been so happy in France.
Well, one can hardly blame her.
Oh, well, I can. See, she has to possess. She never allows her instincts a chance. I know it's false and deadly between her and Murray. You can see it's always the head. It's obscene. And her end will be so, too.
Poor Catherine, with you as her prophet.
She's sapping his most vital livingness. You see, when I proposed, it was possible for there to be a bond, a blood bond of brotherhood between Murray and me. He imagined, with his headness, his suburban headness, that I meant some kind of occult bloodletting ceremony at dead of night. Oh, God. Can't he realize there can be total love between men as well? Alongside marriage between man and woman.
I did hear that he and Mansfield had broken up. They're living apart now. He says his work at the War Office leaves him so tired.
He's sucked dry. She's a vampire.
Which would you rather have? Hot milk or OXO?
OXO, please.
Don't you think you'd rather have hot milk?
No thanks, OXO, please.
You oughtn't to go to Garsington. It's too far for you.
I must see Jack. He's been down there for a week, and I promised Ottiline.
I could wire Jack would come.
Oh, Leslie, you're such a telegrammer.
I wish you would have hot milk, just to please me.
No thanks, OXO, please.
Very well, dear. What about having OXO in the hot milk? Isn't that a good idea?
Plain OXO, please.
It could get onto your chest.
My cold's just a cold. Oh, you do fuss so, darling.
Oh, dear. afraid there isn't any oxo left. Well, will you have milk?
Found you.
I haven't been skulking. You may have, but I haven't.
Lawrence, we can still be friends. I insist we can.
It's a peculiarly nasty kind of humbug, Murray.
You think so?
You can't even express yourself. As I saw from the first page of your Dostoevsky book.
You've read it?
No. He's inessential. Like the rest of them, Dostoevsky just sticks his head between the feet of Christ and waggles his behind in the air.
You despise Dostoevsky as much as that?
More. Ineffably.
I find it difficult to believe.
I'm sure you do. You, having trundled out a whole book about him. And when I think what I offered you at Tregarthen and how you rejected me as absurd, you who put love and marriage on a pedestal.
I'm not married to Catherine.
Oh, but you would be. Oh, how you would be if she were free.
Yes.
The union I proposed would have been false and impossible, you said. You utterly refused to acknowledge the pre-mental reality. So you're dead. Quite dead. Offered life, you choose the dominion of Aphrodite the deadly. Even your physical bond with Catherine is conscious, mental, it's disgusting. But look, you can't even be angry with me!
I'm sorry, I agree, I am self-conscious. It hurts me too.
You die of it. Suppose I were to suggest a Japanese wrestling match. Both of us naked. You'd reject me, wouldn't you? As being grubbily homosexual. Oh, Jack. I can see you lying down to die in the cold snow of your own self-regard.
Catherine?
It got so cold in the dog cart coming from the station.
Brandy. I'll fetch you some brandy.
Leslie tried to forbid me to come, but I had to do.
Lawrence! Stay here. You must stay here, I insist.
No,
Please, my darling.
I'll be all right now I've seen you. I promise you I'll be all right in no time, darling.
Oh.
But I'm mending fast, Bergie. The doctor says I'll be fine if I just lie low for a week. I think he thought I was a pirate. Yow, yow. He's a fearfully nice doctor. He's read Tolstoy. Oh, don't. Two absolutely loathsome females came here yesterday to look over. Is that legal? They said it was. The landlord had given them permission since I was leaving. They made the floor filthy and said this was a quaint little place, not big enough for real furniture. Oh, well, how I loathe the English.
Well, you'll be in France again soon.
Oh, but I'm not going. You haven't enough money.
But I have. No. I earn far more at the War Office than I ever got writing for the Westminster Gazette. You'll be able to travel in the greatest comfort.
Well, I'll be better in a week. No. We're both used to pleurisy, darling. We're quite inured to it. Ain't we?
There you are.
Let's go and sit over there, where we can see the drive. The trees are so lovely.
Well, where's your shawl?
Oh. How silly I am. I've left it upstairs on the bed. Never mind. Don't go for it. I shan't want it. I know I shan't.
You better have it.
Oh.
Vous désirez, monsieur?
Chagrin d'amour dure toute la vie. What happened? What kept you?
Nothing. The room was in turmoil. The girl was doing it.
Poor Robert. Thank you. That's very nice. See? The tea's come. I've sent Antonio off with the hot water. It's extraordinary. I must have told him at least 60 times to bring it, and still he doesn't. Move up your chair, darling. Such miles away.
No, it's not. I'm fine here.
The shawl is a comfort, darling. One does just feel the air when one leans forward.
Oh, no, nothing to eat.
Do.
Just one, then.
That's my Robert. Oh, there's trees along the drive. I could look at them forever. They're like the most exquisite large ferns. You see that one, darling? That one with the silver grey bark and the clusters of cream-colored flowers. That one, see? Yesterday, I pulled down a head of one of them to smell, and oh, the scent. Oh. It's just like freshly ground nutmegs. You do know what nutmegs smell like, don't you, Robert?
Now, how am I going to prove to you that I do?
Oh, the post. How lovely. Robert, they mustn't be all for you. Have they just come, Antonio?
Just this moment.
There. There's mine. Robert, the rest are yours. Ah, it's from Lottie. Poor dear, such trouble. Her left foot, she thought it was neuritis, but Dr. Blythe has recommended massage for flat feet. The new maid's most satisfactory, she says. Heavy fall of snow. Snow, Robert. Think of it, darling. Snow in London. Ah. The lawn will be covered with wavy patterns of little cat's paws. Do you remember when I first showed our Pussy the snow? He didn't like it on his paws at all, did he?
No.
More tea, darling?
No, thanks. It's very good.
Mine wasn't. It was just like chopped hay. Oh! Here come the honeymoon couple.
très fatigant.
Et moi, je suis mouillée. Pourquoi?
Mouillé? Ah, c'est à cause de moi comme tu
Why have you been out fishing? Yes, in a little boat. Look, we have got 7. For a goodie. But 3 we shall give away to the children.
Ah, yes.
Oh, with Clément so like a fish, huh? Oh, Woodoo, darling. Woodoo. Oui, mais je viens. Regarde.
You will sleep well tonight.
Robert, do you remember? Robert? Ah, there you are. Shall we go for our little turn?
Right. Will you be warm enough?
Quite.
Sure.
Well, perhaps. It's not upstairs. It's hanging in the hall.
Right.
I didn't really need it after all. It's really too marvelously warm. Oh, I feel so well today. So much better. Good heavens! Look at those children. How very extraordinary. What made them so frightened? I mean, surely they're much too young.
Tray rum.
Oh, darling. Tray rum. You know, you really are very absurd sometimes.
I am.
I do love you. I can't walk any further. Sorry. I'm so tired.
We'll go back.
No, you go on. You need your constitutional. I'll be on the terrace by that delicious heliotrope. I've got my cape. I'll use it as a rug.
You sure you don't mind my going on?
Silly. I want you to go. I can't expect you to drag after your invalid wife every minute now, can I? How long will you be?
Well, it's just after 4:30 now. I'll be back at 5:15. Are you sure you don't mind you're going back on your own?
Of course. 5:15 then.
Yeah. I had a thought.
Yes.
Would you like my watch?
Oh, yes. Very, very much. Oh. Now, off we go. Robert. Dear Robert.
Vous désirez, monsieur?
You're late. 3 minutes late. Did you have a nice time? Is it lovely? Here's your watch. It's been very good while you were away, faithfully ticking. Where did you go?
About the town. So put this on, it's getting chilly.
So it is. I can just feel it now. Sure. Shall we go to our room?
Sit down.
It isn't anything. I haven't been out too late. Don't be cross.
Drink this and don't talk.
I'm sorry.
Like a cushion?
No, I'm quite all right. Come over here. Don't be miles away. Sit down by me just for a minute. That's very nice. There. That's most becoming. Robert.
Yes? Come along.
I couldn't eat anything. Not tonight.
But you must.
No. You go down, dear. If I don't come with you, you can eat out on the terrace. You know how you like that.
Oh, pas ici. Donne-moi celui-là, c'est celui que j'ai attrapé.
Non, c'est celui-là.
Non, c'est bien ça.
Non, je t'assure que non.
Eh bien, il me regarde dans son œil, donc c'est bien celui-ci. Je suis d'accord.
That's better.
Vous désirez, monsieur?
Une omelette.
Fromage, fines herbes, champignons.
Fines herbes.
Robert?
Of course.
Oh, good. You're smoking a cigar. I love cigar smoke. I always did. Why don't you sit out on the balcony with it, darling? Such a moon. Have you seen the moon?
Oh, yes.
I can sleep now you're back. Burgers.
Shh.
Burgers.
You haven't called me that name for years.
Haven't I?
No. Not since...
When? Not since when?
Not since we first discovered that you were... you know, ill.
Are you sure?
Quite.
You're still bread and wine to me, darling. Bread and wine. And you do get on with your work from here, don't you?
Well, the Gazette's been very understanding.
So they should be. Who else could review French literature like you do?
Go to sleep.
Oh, dear. I'm going to be a bother. I'm sorry. Do you mind?
For what?
Oh, just as you were getting into bed, there's a wretched mosquito inside my net. I can hear him singing. Can you catch him for me, darling? I don't want to move because of my heart.
No, don't move. Stay exactly where you are. Now, where? Where's the little beggar?
Hey.
Have you spotted him?
Isn't that him by the corner?
Oh, which corner?
No, that one. There. Oh, I do feel such a fiend, darling, just as you were sinking into bed. Do you mind dreadfully?
Of course not. Shh, shh, shh. Got him.
Good. See a juicy one.
Beastly.
You're so clever. You always get them.
2 years' practice. All right, now, shall I switch out the light?
Yes. Yes, please. Boogles. You don't mind me calling you Boogles again, do you?
Well, it seems a bit, you know.
Come back. Just for a moment. Sit. Do sit. Give me a hand. I'm doing it for you, Boogles. Good. Come close. Listen. Listen. Do you mind awfully being out here with me?
Rot. What rot?
We shall be married at last when I come back from Bandoro in April. I shall take the most childish delight in speaking of you as my husband, Bertie. feel away from you. I can't.
Juliet! Juliet!
It'd be unbelievable, quite. No, I won't. I won't peg out and leave scraps, bits of work, nothing really finished.
Katie?
Leslie, what have you gone for?
Well, didn't you get my wire?
No. Oh, Katie. But nothing works in France anymore. Did Jack tell you I was ill?
He said you wailed in a letter to him.
Oh, did he? I wailed, did I?
So well, anyway, I gave up my work at the factory, and I absolutely demanded a passport and a permit. Whew, the journey down here has been quite awful.
Oh, so is mine. 2 women, all in black, kept talking about illnesses all night. The big one said this coast was a fatal place for anyone with lung trouble. She reeled off the most hideous examples. You needn't have bothered to come. If I live up to expectations, I'll be dead in 3 weeks.
You mustn't joke about it.
Why not? I can, because I'm much better, not ill at all. And I did not wail to Jack. How dare he? He always gets so tortured the minute I'm inconvenient.
He wanted me to come.
I'm sure, so he didn't have to.
Well, you need someone
The
to
femme
look
de
after-
chambre is enough.
I'm sorry.
You're here now.
Katie, how can you?
I don't want anyone making sacrifices for me, Leslie. I'm perfectly fine. Fine and dandy. You mustn't take any notice of my moods, darling. They do swoop so. I get so irritable, so nervous, I could scream. If anyone starts talking, I just lose my puff. Feel my blood getting black.
I know.
One becomes vindictive and one wants to torment whoever's nearest to one.
Don't you think you've walked far enough, darling?
But you must see the villa. That's why we've come this way. We're nearly there. It's a perfect place. Perfect. Look. It can't be. Oh, God, it's gone. All the love, the heart gone out of it. Just the husk left.